warmed up for the day, doing a little morning jog.
From early aluminum manufacturing to today being one of only a handful of bikes manufactured in North America, Devinci has a commitment to quality and performance. Therefore, Devinci's alloy bikes are 100% made in Canada, and they're not backing down from that commitment, but rather doubling down. They said it best: while we may not make all our bikes in Canada, we make most our bikes in Canada. Devinci is based in what is called the Aluminum Valley in Chicoutimi, Quebec, due to the fact that there is an extensive base of knowledge and resources. This means alloy Devincis have a lower carbon footprint and tighter controls on the manufacturing process. Devinci has a saying: if you're looking forward to your next Devinci bike, we're not sorry to say, this one will last. That is a testament to their goal of making bikes that can confidently back with a lifetime warranty, and to not making a bike that needs updated every year. It also speaks to their environmental rhetoric not being hollow, manufactured in Canada with local labor and materials. Whoa. The Denvinci Chainsaw. The chainsaw was named for none other than Canada's own and world champion, Stevie Smith. The idea behind this bike was much like Stevie's infectious attitude to get people stuck on bikes, and Devinci will continue with an annual donation to the Stevie Smith Legacy Foundation. The last Devinci I reviewed was a short travel trail ripper named Django. It is a bike that even today, 4 years later, I would put up against the newest Yetis or Santa Cruzes. Devinci was not afraid to jump in, and that bike had things like a seat tube angle over 77 degrees and size-specific chainstays that were nearly unheard of at the time. I commend manufacturers for making bikes that don't need small updates every season. The chainsaw is another swing for the fence and may just be a home run. We tend to talk about bikes that can do it all, but all to one person can be vastly different than all to another. The chainsaw is not your one bike to rule them all, cross-country epics to a day in the bike park. It's your one bike to rule the freeride game. Just look at the likes of Steve Vanderhoek and just announced partnership with Johan Borelli. Whether it's lapping the bike park or pedaling its way to the gnarliest features from the sea to sky in Virgin, Utah, this bike will take a beating day after day. All right, first lap on the new Devinci Chainsaw. Following up Blake. He did not warn me there were jumps. Feeling good though? May need a heavier coil on the rear of this. The bike I have here is the Denvinci Chainsaw DH. I'm 5'11" and 170 pounds. I went with the size medium as the 461 reach is very similar to the Trek Session in size R2 that I've been riding since the spring. The frame comes equipped with 170 millimeters of travel that can be easily converted to 180 mils and is complemented with a 190 dual crown fork. This mullet bike's 62-degree head angle and short size-specific 430 chainstays mean the bike likes to move around and be airborne. Feels surprisingly close to a downhill bike. The chainsaw is slacker than the Session, but with shorter stays, less travel, and an overall shorter length, it was surprising how noticeable it was when riding the bikes back to back. The high pivot, split pivot suspension means the bike does get longer as it lands, and it has all the confidence of the bigger Trek Session. The nice tall 630 stack also meant I wasn't swapping for taller bars, and I immediately felt at home. Woo!
Heater?
Good?
That's good.
Finally, if converted to the trail option, the 469 reach works well for me. A seat tube angle of 79.6 degrees should also be nice if you want to hunker down and pedal, but that's not what the DH is for. Shuttling, pushing, or riding the chair are much more at speed. Whoa! Whoa! The build. Devinci wanted the chainsaw to be accessible, and with just 3 build options, 2 trail and 1 DH, as well as a frame, I think they did well for the price. At $4,500 US, this is downright affordable for a DH bike. The RockShox SuperDeluxe Coil was a standout, with the hydraulic bottom out keeping things smooth on the harshest flat landings. In the long run, I would need to get a heavier spring, but so far just cranking up the bottom out works. You also get a RockShox Boxer Select, which after adding some volume reducers felt pretty dialed. With SRAM Codar brakes and a 220 front and 200 rear rotor, the brakes take care of what I think is the most important. But what else do you get? I was surprised with how well the SRAM GX DH 7-speed functioned. It was my first time living with this drivetrain, and I really think it was as smooth as the XO option. We'll round out things with a RaceFace Cockpit Maxxis rubber, which is just about what I would have picked if given the choice. The Chester direct mount stem, the 35mm Atlas bars, and the Burley ARC 30 heavy-duty rims.
Dude, those bonus slips, when they put those in, I was like, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed. That middle one, where it's like a hip out to the right.
The good. This bike was dead quiet throughout most of my testing, and the heavy-duty enduro bearings, internal cable routing, and idler pulley kept things quiet while pedaling or monster trucking through the rough. The idler was significantly quieter and less noticeable than on my Trek session. Like I said, the RockShox SuperDeluxe Coil, Select, plus RT, all that stuff, this was a standout. I had also forgotten how good the Codar brakes are. For a budget stopper, these did not disappoint, and I always had plenty of stopping power. The mullet setup also means this thing rips corners. It also loves to get off the ground like a smaller bike. It also stands higher in the front end, so for the steep chutes and rock slabs, that was great. The bad. For a bike at this price, I can't complain too much. I would love to see a bash guard on the E13 guide, and the rear wheel did lose all its tension after the first day in the bike park. And thanks to that stout RaceFace rim, it tensioned back up perfectly, and I've not had an issue since. This is a common issue for bikes, especially around this price, and a number of wheels I've gotten were never straight again, so good job RaceFace on that wheel. Overall, at $4,500, this bike requires nothing out of the box. So who's this bike for? Well, I could see a few riders go this direction.
Nice.
Freeride is alive and well, and this bike is for that. This is not your mini DH bike. It's a full park bike for getting riders down the hill in style, not just as fast as they can. DH bikes continue to be more specialized, and I think more of us need bikes like this. It doesn't feel as cumbersome as some newer DH bikes, and also doesn't need the speed to come alive. While it will require more input than the average trail bikes, at speed, it moves. My experience is rapidly growing when it comes to the world of high pivot bikes, and for the bike park, I can't recommend the Chainsaw more. The price is also killer for a bike that can smash park laps without issue. And if you have the mechanical ability, you can even convert it to the gnarliest trail bike around. The stability both at speed and on steeps, and when things get chunky, is nearly unrivaled. This will be a bike for the park, or if you live in an area with terrain that it craves. While you could always line up between the tape, this is a bike that equally likes picking its way down steep and technical terrain. If you'd rather scout lines than walk the track, then the Chainsaw is right up your alley. Compared to the newest crop of World Cup bikes, the Chainsaw is unapologetically freeride.
Woo!
Well, that was smooth.
Yeah, Jesus.